Just moments ago, flares seen across the sky in Gaza, just as we were coming to air. We are right now witnessing, in the midst of this, wherever you're watching, in Gaza, the biggest air assault for anyone who is there on that 25-mile strip since this war began on October 7th. And it comes as our CNN team in northern Israel is also now witnessing rocket fire from Iranian-backed forces in Lebanon into Israel. This is a pivotal moment, a crucial moment. The leader of Hezbollah, in fact, is about to speak for the first time since the war began. And what he says could change the trajectory of the war. Jim Sciutto is out front on the ground. And Jim, what have you been seeing there today?
Well, this whole past week and longer, we've seen an exchange of fire along this northern border, mostly artillery fire, mortar fire. Today, though, we saw the sky filled, rockets coming from Lebanon into northern Israel, and then we also saw Israeli missile defense high in the sky taking out some of those rockets. Did not appear they got all of them. Israeli fighter jets higher up in the sky responding as well. Helicopters moving in both directions. Just a level of activity in the sky that shows the level of alarm today on the border as the attacks stepped up, coming in from Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, and fears of the opening of a new front.
A rocket fired from southern Lebanon sets the street on fire in Kiryat Shimona. Today, northern Israel suffered under one of the biggest barrages of rockets since the start of the war. Our team witnessed the Iron Dome missile defense system intercept 2 incoming rockets, though at least one other caused substantial damage. In response, the Israeli military fired back at what it says is the culprit, Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah sits on a massive stockpile of rockets and missiles, far bigger than that of Hamas. Numbering more than 100,000, many have the range and accuracy to strike deep into Israeli territory, including all the way to Tel Aviv. And this is one sign of how seriously Israel is taking the Hezbollah threat. Today, we watched Israeli special forces and tank units conduct a live fire exercise, training to defend Israel in case of invasion from the north.
These are combined arms exercises, Israeli special forces, IDF special forces here. There's also 2 tanks involved in this. It is live fire. It's a measure of the seriousness with which they're keeping their forces trained up, ready to go if necessary in the north. But also, given that we're within sight of Syria here and just a few miles from the Lebanon border, this is also a show of force to Iran's proxies in the region.
A show of force, perhaps, to this man, Hassan Nasrallah, leader of Hezbollah. To his admirers in the Muslim world, he is a leader of the resistance, credited with forcing Israeli forces out of southern Lebanon in 2000 after an 18-year occupation. To Israel, he is an existential threat on its northern border. Tomorrow, he will address his followers and the world for the first time since the October 7th Hamas attacks. The question for many, will he order his forces to join the war against Israel more aggressively?
They have the capacity to do enormous damage, but I'm not certain that they really want to be on the receiving end of what Israel is going to send their way.
The threat of escalation extends beyond Hezbollah. Yemen-based Houthi rebels, also backed by Iran, are firing long-range missiles at Israel from the southeast. Another potential front in a war that would see Israel surrounded.
As the world awaits the words of Hezbollah's leader, Nasrallah, Hezbollah fighters issued their own public letter earlier this week saying that their fingers are on the trigger. Israeli officials have had their own strong words communicating to Hezbollah via interlocutors in Europe that if Hezbollah gets into this war in numbers, that Israel will strike back deep into Lebanon. Strong words now, and now all eyes tomorrow on the words of the Hezbollah leader. Erin.
Very sobering. Jim, thank you very much. And more breaking news on this, because CNN is now learning that Syria has agreed to provide Hezbollah with a Russian-made missile defense system. And Oren Lieberman is out front at the Pentagon breaking this news. And Oren, you are just getting these breaking details from your reporting. This obviously would be a very significant and very serious development. What more are you learning?
Aaron, according to two sources familiar with the intelligence, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has agreed to provide a Russian-made aerial defense system to Hezbollah. And it is the Russian mercenary group Wagner that will transfer that SA-22 or Pantsir missile defense system from Syria to Lebanon, where it could be set up to be used. Now, what's unclear from the intelligence, according to these sources, is whether the system has already been transferred. It is a medium-range air defense system and would add to Hezbollah's capabilities if and when it arrives in Lebanon. Now, the Israelis have dealt with this system in the past in Syria. Take a look at this video. This is from May 2018. This is video from the IDF of them striking an SA-22 in Syria that was operated by Iran or being used by Iranian proxies there. So they have shown the capability to handle these systems and to strike them from the air. But of course, now the situation is entirely different, with Israel embroiled with a war in Gaza and the possibility that Hezbollah could enter this in a much more significant fashion. So even if Israel has dealt with an SA-22 before, certainly not under these circumstances. And that's what everyone here is watching very closely. According to other sources on the matter, so far the U.S. believes that Iran and its proxies don't want to get involved in a big way. But of course, as Jim pointed out, the speech from Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, everyone is watching that speech to see where this goes and what it means. It's also worth pointing out the common denominator here: Hezbollah backed by Iran, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad backed by Iran, and they have worked with Russia there, which has also backed Assad and provided that Wagner support. So you see the ties here linking all of these different groups, Aaron.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Oren Lieberman.